Hello and welcome to the Rank Practice video tutorial sessions. If you've made it here, you're probably either a doctor or medical professional. Maybe you're looking to increase the speed, performance of your website, add a little security. And in this video session, I am going to go over how to actually point your GoDaddy domain at a CDN called Cloudflare, also called Content Delivery Network. I'm going to discuss a few reasons why that you should be using a content delivery network, how it increases the performance of your website, the speed, security, and actually walk you through how to go ahead and point your GoDaddy domain at Cloudflare and make it function properly. So let's go ahead and show you a little bit about how it works. Now, when you first log into Cloudflare, you're going to get to a screen like this, and you're going to see a button here that says to add a site. So you're going to want to go ahead and click that button right there. Now, you just need to put the name of your website here. So I'm just going to put one of my domains that I'm actually not using right now that's just parked. So you want to click add a site. Okay, and when you do that, then you are going to get a list of different plans here. Now, for the time being in this video, we're just going to pick the free plan. Now, in a future video, I will probably go over how to use a lot of the tools that are in the Pro, Business, and Enterprise plan. But for now, if you're just starting with Cloudflare, you might just want to do the free plan. And I'm going to go over how to use the free tools available with this. So when you click free, you just want to go ahead in here and confirm your plan. And now it's doing a quick scan of what's called a DNS records for where your domain is. Now, in this video, most of the people you're going to have your domain with the registrar at GoDaddy. So it's going to search all of GoDaddy's records, and it's going to pull up your GoDaddy information here. Now, when it pulls this up, it's going to have your IP address here of where your domain is actually being hosted. Now, with this one, I just have it parked. So this is the parked domain here, and all of the rest of the information about your DNS. Now, the way DNS works is it's actually what routes your domain and points to where everything is located at, and it changes what you type and the words that you're typing into numbers and uses your IP address to locate the information. So what you want to do here actually, one other thing I wanted to mention too, is sometimes it's easier. I don't know if you're starting a new website or if you're using an existing website, but if you're starting a new website, I found that for clients who aren't really that familiar with the process, if you're planning on doing this yourself, you might want to wait until the server's set up and everything, and the emails are already set up with your MX records, because it's going to pull everything over to Cloudflare initially. Otherwise, you're going to have to add all that stuff later manually, so you might want to wait. But in this case, I'm just going to show you how to set it up initially. So it imports all this information here. You want to click continue. And right here's basically the only thing you need to do is you're going to want to log into your GoDaddy account, and it's going to show you a list of your domains. So when your domain shows up here, you want to click DNS, which is here. And when the DNS pulls up, it's going to have the same DNS information that pulled over to Cloudflare. So you'll notice that this information here is over here. So the only thing you really need to do is it's going to say these name servers here, and you're going to want to switch them with the Cloudflare name servers, which are here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you go down here to name servers, click change. I'm just going to say to make sure you know what you're doing. Enter my own name servers. Okay. And you take the first one. Oops. And copy the second one. Oh, the first one's gone here. Okay, we'll do the first one again. So when you do that, and you save. It's going to actually load all this. Yes, you make sure that you want to do this. They want to make sure you know what you're doing. Continue. And now you're moving your DNS location over to Cloudflare. Now, once you're done, you go back to Cloudflare. Done, check name servers. Okay. Now, everything's already looking like it's set up here. Sometimes this takes a little time to get set up. And it's going to ask you which encryption mode you want. Usually if you want to use full, if you are using SSL from HTTPS on your website, so you just keep that there. Okay, and I'm going to go through all this other things in a few minutes here. So, but for now, we'll just click that we're done. So we're basically done. This takes a few minutes usually for Cloudflare to, for the DNS to change over. It can take up to 24 hours. Well, it's already ready to go. So now I'm going to go over a few reasons why that you want to use a CDN like Cloudflare and go over a few of the tools that we want to do. So we've already moved it over. Now, how does this work and why would you want to do this for security? Now, the first thing is, it masks your IP address. So when hackers or people that want to attack your website with DDoS attacks to flood you with requests to knock down your server, they use your IP address to do that. Now, usually there's easy tools. You could just go to Domain Tools. This is one of my websites here, and you'll notice that it says where your registrar is with GoDaddy, but you'll see here that the IP address location is easily visible. Now, this would usually be your IP address where they would be able to target where all your sensitive data is located. Now, here, this actually just shows the Cloudflare IP address. So any attackers that are going to use these easy tools to find out where you are, it's just going to point to Cloudflare and their firewalls. So it gives you an extra layer of protection from hackers in that way. So that's one reason why to do that. Also, Cloudflare gives you a free Ssl certificate. Now, it gives you a free Edge certificate, which is already turned on. Oh, one other thing. Sometimes I've seen that this will default to flexible here, which if you are using full HTTPS on your website, now this is going to break your website. It's going to keep trying to connect, and it won't be able to connect. So it'll give you an error there. So you want to make sure it says full when you do that. Now, in order to use HTTPS on your website, you're going to need a certificate, and most of the time they make you pay for those. Where your website's being hosted. So they actually provide free Edge and Origin certificates here at Cloudflare, which will save you some money. And originally, the Edge certificate, which I'll show you a little bit about SSL and how this works right here. This is a good page from Cloudflare. So basically, Cloudflare acts as an intermediary between the visitor and where your server is located. So the person will actually go through Cloudflare each time before they get to your server. Now, the Edge certificate is already set up here between the visitor and the Cloudflare. So when the person goes to your site and you see this little lock in here, which helps your rankings now with Google, it makes people feel more secure. It encrypts all the information going across the internet. This is what the Edge certificate actually does, so on the visitor end. Now, I'm also going to show you how to set up an Origin certificate, which is between Cloudflare and your server. So that's pretty easy to do. You just go in here to SSL, and you want to click Origin server, create certificate, and this is going to vary depending on your server. So once you create the certificate, you're going to have to go into where your server is and just paste the information to the SSL. Now, the Edge certificate automatically updates through Cloudflare. You don't have to do anything there, and I think they're 24 months. They'll just automatically update, either 12 or 24. You don't have to worry about that. And so you want to keep those shorter because the browsers will want to know that it's a current certificate. Now, but for the origin server, you're allowed to have a longer lifespan here. Now, it automatically generates to 15 years. You just want to keep it to 15 years, and by the time that is over with, there'll probably be something new, so you don't have to even worry about, most likely won't have to worry about updating that. So anyways, just click next, and it'll give you your certificate. Easy enough, begin and end your certificate and private key, and you just want to paste this information into where your server is. So I'm not going to go into that. Click OK, and there's your certificate. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit about how the CDN works and why it's so successful with speed, and go over some of the options with speed. Now, this is GT metrics. This is websites that's used to evaluate the speed of your website. I highly recommend using this when you are going through to troubleshoot any sort of speed issues on your site, because speed is really important now, especially because Google started ranking websites more based off speed. So this is a good graphic that'll show you actually why that you should be using a CDN for speed. Now, all these little graphics of icons of people or where the person's actually trying to get the information from you. Now, this red dot here, if you weren't using a CDN, that's where the hypothetical server is. So that would need to route to the person from that server, no matter where they are in the world. Now, how Cloudflare and other CDNs work is they have servers all over the world. You could see these blue icons here for the edge servers. So when the person gets the information and the information is actually cached on Cloudflare or the other CDN servers, the information just needs to come to the user directly from there. So it's much shorter and increases the speed that everything is delivered to the user. So it creates a much faster experience. Now I'm going to go through a little bit about the speed and how that is all set up. Now, if you go here to speed and you click on optimization, it allows you to minify your JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. This greatly reduces the code and the page size that's going to be delivered. So I want to recommend that you click JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and that'll reduce the load time, and it'll also reduce all the code that has to be delivered from your site. Also, this is automatically checked here. Broadly is a compression that's it was invented by Google, the algorithm, to compress the text that needs to be transferred. So I highly recommend that you just want to keep on. And there's one more that comes for free down here is Rocket Loader. This is defaulted to off, but I recommend that you click on. And this is going to greatly improve your paint time, which is how fast the initial load of your site is. And it does this by deferring all the JavaScript that wants to initially load to later on in the site. And a lot of that is heavy stuff that takes time for your page to load. And that's going to defer that to later. So you'll be able to get a higher, faster page speed, and will decrease the amount of time that it is to load. Now that just goes over the initial setup with Cloudflare. There's many other options in here, but I'm not really going to go into those in this video. I think for now, that's enough to get you started, and you'll be able to utilize Cloudflare's technology. You'll notice a great improvement right off the bat with your speed. Your security will be increased. You can feel a little more comfortable that your IP address isn't just floating out there on the easier sites to find. And if you have any other questions, just contact us. I will be available to answer any questions from you. So you could just go to our website and fill out the form or give us a call. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.